The Tadami Line was announced as an upcoming add-on for Train Sim World in the TSW4 era, though I can't remember exactly when that first announcement dropped. Fast forward to early December 2025, we are now in the TSW6 era, and the Tadami Line add-on still hasn't been released, but we've at least got the TS Classic version for now. Even so, I think I'll wait until the TSW version is released before making a dedicated video about the Tadami Line, assuming I don't give up on TSW before the route's release. In the meantime, here are my 2 cents on a different route from Japan. This is the Tokyo Commuter, Keihin-Tohoku and Utsunomiya lines route add-on, and I apologise in advance if I butcher the pronunciation of place names throughout the line. I can't remember whether or not I've said this before, but regardless, I must admit that I don't know too much about the railways of Japan, apart from the fact that the Shinkansen lines use standard gauge instead of 3-foot 6-inch gauge, which is used by the normal commuter lines. I also know that they're very serious about punctuality where train timetables are concerned, to the point where even 15 seconds is seen as a major delay. The capital city, Tokyo, is home to a very complex and busy suburban network, too complex for me to fully wrap my head around, but regardless, a small part of that network has been recreated in this add-on for TS Classic. The Tokyo Commuter route add-on was developed by Union Workshop and released in April 2023. As of early December 2025, it is still available on Steam for $43.59 NZD at full price, but I got it for only $10.89 as it was 75% off during the Steam Black Friday sale. As for route coverage, you only get 27 kilometers of track, running from Omiya to Ueno, with 19 well-detailed stations along the route. Going from north to south, the stations served by the Keihin-Tohoku line are Omiya, Saitama Shintoshin, Yono, Kita Urawa, Urawa, Minami Urawa, Warabi, Nishi Kawaguchi, Kawaguchi, Akabane, Higashi Jujo, Oji, Kami Nakazato, Tabata, Nishi Nippuri, Nippuri, Ugui Sudani, and Ueno. Incidentally, I recognise the name Ueno because of the unique suspended monorail that ran at Ueno Zoo between 1957 and 2019. Speaking of which, I only discovered the monorail thanks to a video on the Trains Are Awesome channel. Incidentally, the Keihin-Tohoku line runs parallel to the Yamanote Line between Tabata and Ueno. The Yamanote Line is a 34.5 km long loop line running around central Tokyo, and personally, I would have preferred to see this as the focus of a Tokyo Commuter add-on instead of the Keihin-Tohoku and Utsunomiya lines, but that's just me. Meanwhile, some stations on the Keihin-Tohoku line have these half-height platform edge doors, and it can be a right pain when you're trying to stop the train in the exact right place to align with these doors. On the motive power scene, the Tokyo Commuter add-on includes 2 variants of the E233 electric multiple unit, specifically the E233-1000 and E233-3000 series, which run on the Keihin-Tohoku and Utsunomiya lines respectively. The 1000 and 3000 variants differ by way of their liveries, as well as the former being made up solely of 10-car sets, while the latter has both 5 and 10-car sets. In the default scenarios, you'll often see these E233-3000 units running in 15-car formations. Each of the 10-car sets also have 2 double-decker coaches, something that I didn't even know was possible on the narrow gauge, especially since there are no double-decker trains here in New Zealand, another country that uses 3-foot 6-inch gauge track. Meanwhile, You also get an AI-only version of the E231-500 series trains in order to represent services on the Yamanote Line. Due to licensing restrictions, none of the trains have any realistic JR East branding in-game. As a brief aside, I haven't been to Japan in real life, nor do I have any plans to go there anytime soon, but I have actually seen 2 Japanese rail vehicles in real life. One of them is a Zero Series Shinkansen driving coach, as displayed at the National Railway Museum in England, of all places. In hindsight, I wish I had got more shots of the coach than just this one. The other vehicle is something considerably more bizarre, in the form of a rail grinder that KiwiRail refers to as ETM798. This machine still has the outline of JR lettering visible on both sides, but I know nothing about her history. 19 career mode scenarios are included with this route, all featuring a variety of local or rapid services, although only 4 of those scenarios, 2 in each direction, actually cover the full route between Omiya and Ueno. The Utsunomiya line doesn't stop at all stations on this section, and mostly runs parallel to the Keihin-Tohoku line, but branches off to run via Oku instead of Tabata. Between Omiya and Ueno, the Utsunomiya line only calls at Saitama Shintoshin, Urawa, Akabane, Oku, and Nippori. As far as I can tell, there are no scenarios available for this route on Steam Workshop, so there's basically no replay value if, or once, you complete all of the default scenarios. As for how long it takes to complete a full run of the route from Omiya to Ueno, or vice versa, it's around 44 minutes on the Keihin-Tohoku line and 25 minutes on the Utsunomiya line. Between Minami Urawa and Warabi, you run past the sidings that make up the East Saitama Rolling Stock Centre, although these sidings are largely empty in the scenarios. Another notable spot on the line is the bridge, or rather bridges, over the Arakawa River, located between Kawaguchi and Akabane. Those bridges are immediately followed by another set of bridges across the Shingashi River, and I was surprised to discover that there's one bridge for each set of 2 tracks. The drivable E233 trains also feature an advanced safety system called Automatic Train Stop, with full details on how it works being found in the manual. The same goes for the signalling and train controls, for anyone who's unfamiliar. In the case of the E233-1000, there are also working announcements. It caught me by surprise when I realized that these announcements are read in both Japanese and English.
この電車は京浜東北線各駅停車南浦和行きです。次は鶯谷、お出口は右側です。This is the Keihin-Tohoku Line train for Minami Urawa. The next station is Ueno, JK31. The doors on the right side will open.
I suspect that, if you were to make your own scenarios on this route, you would have to manually set up the announcements in the scenario editor, but I'm not sure about that because the manual is not at all clear on this front. In any case, the announcements are helpful for learning the pronunciation of station names.
次は日暮里、お出口は右側です。常磐線、京成線と日暮里舎人ライナーはお乗り換えです。The next station is Nippori JK32. The doors on the right side will open. Please change here for the Joban Line, Keisei Line, and the Nippori Toneri Liner.
As for the sounds, I cannot verify their accuracy due to my very limited knowledge on Japanese electric multiple units, although I will say that the door closing sounds on these trains reminds me of the London Underground 2009 stock for some reason. I also noticed that the air horn on the E233s is recycled from the Kiha 40 that comes with the Tadami line. To anyone who's more familiar with the E233-1000 and E233-3000, let us know in the comments if the in-game audio is accurate or not. Come to think of it, why do the E233s have both electric and air horns in the first place? The scenery is done in an interesting way, in the sense that it manages to pull off the look of a densely packed urban area, but the assets don't extend too far away from the track. Performance on this route is better than I expected, but still inconsistent. On my end, it averages between 23 and 42 frames per second, but it could dip as low as 13 depending on where I had the camera pointing. It didn't help that some of the stations, and the trains, had really bright lights, brighter than I thought they should be. Thinking back to the E5 Shinkansen that I showed you earlier, this too has excessively bright headlights for some reason. I think there should be an option to disable the shadow casting lights, as you can do on the New Zealand Railways DJ class diesel and P class steam locomotives. As much as I like seeing another Japanese route in Train Simulator, and although Tokyo Commuter, Keihin-Tohoku and Utsunomiya lines is decent where overall quality is concerned, I can't help thinking that this route wouldn't offer much value for money if you were to buy it at full price. I may have got a good deal on this route. Like I said earlier, it only cost me $10.89, but I think it could still be improved if the route coverage was longer, either by adding the full Yamanote Line or extending the Keihin-Tohoku line coverage south of Ueno. If you want to get this route for yourself, just be mindful of the limited replay value and potential for poor frame rates, particularly at the southern end of the route. As for where I'd rate the Tokyo Commuter route add-on, I think it deserves a 6.5 out of 10.